Welcome to the Stoic Golden Tribe, where enduring wisdom meets the strength of presence, and where we uncover the truths modern society refuses to teach men. In a world where disrespect is subtle, betrayal is common, and emotional games are played in silence, there comes a time in every man's life when he must choose. Will you let the behavior of others disturb your peace? Or will you master the ancient art of indifference? Because here's the truth. Powerful men are not men who shout. They are not men who chase validation, who react to every insult or try to convince others of their worth. Number A. Truly powerful man walks in silence. His energy commands the room because nothing outside of him controls what's within. This video is for the man who's tired of being played with, tired of explaining himself, tired of being emotionally manipulated by people who smile to his face and strike behind his back. It's for the man who's ready to reclaim his emotional power. We will dive deep into ancient Stoic wisdom, female behavioral patterns, and the mental shift every man must make to become untouchable. So grab your focus and stay with me till the end. If you find value in this message, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps me bring this message to the men who need it most. Drop a comment below. Have you ever been emotionally tested by someone who pretended to care? How did you respond? Chapter 1. The Ancient Power of Inner Stillness. In the days of Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, and one of the greatest Stoic minds in history, he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's not just poetic philosophy, it's a shield, a sword, a complete shift in how a man should respond to the world. Because the truth is this: the moment you allow another person's actions to determine your inner peace, you've handed them power over you. And in today's world, whether it's a woman playing games, a fake friend throwing shade, or family questioning your decisions, you'll be tested constantly. But here's what separates ordinary men from unshakable ones. The ordinary man reacts. The sovereign man remains still. Now, stillness isn't passivity. It's not weakness. It's not being soft or avoiding confrontation. Stillness is the deliberate refusal to let another person dictate your emotional world. When someone insults you, when a woman pulls away to provoke your insecurity, when people betray you or try to twist your reality, you don't lash out. You don't chase. You observe. And you keep walking. Because the man who does not react is the man who is feared, not out of intimidation, but out of mystery, out of control, out of power. Women feel this, they test for it, often without knowing it. Not because they're cruel, but because they're drawn to men who are grounded in their own identity. A man she can't manipulate is the man she deeply respects. So here's your call. You must become emotionally still like a mountain. Let the winds blow, let the storms rage, but remain unshaken. If they try to hurt you, let them try. What they don't know is you've already mastered the one thing they can't touch, yourself. Drop a comment below. What's one moment in your life where choosing silence gave you power? Chapter 2. Why they test you and why you must never fold. There's a silent war happening in every man's life. It's not fought with weapons. It's not on the battlefield. It's emotional, and it's invisible. And it begins the moment you start valuing your peace more than your pride. You see, whether it's your woman, your friends, your co-workers, or even family, people will test your emotional structure. Not always to break you, but to measure you, to see what lies beneath the surface, especially women. And no, this isn't about villainizing them, it's about understanding them. Because when you understand, you stop reacting and start leading. In relationships, women will often test men emotionally without even realizing it. It's part instinct, part biology. A deep evolutionary pull to find a man who's not only strong on the outside, but composed and consistent on the inside. So what do these tests look like? Sometimes she'll pull away after giving you affection. Sometimes she'll criticize your tone, your choices, your timing. Sometimes she'll become moody, unresponsive, or seem cold and distant without a clear reason. And this is where most men collapse. They take it personally. They become insecure. They start asking, what did I do wrong? They chase her. They try to fix it. They lose sleep over texts left on read. But here's the uncomfortable truth no one told you growing up. These emotional tests aren't always signs she's trying to hurt you. They're often signs she's asking, deep down, can I trust this man's emotional frame? Will he stay grounded even when I'm not? Will he remain calm even when I'm in chaos? Can he protect his peace and by extension protect mine? Because a woman can't feel safe around a man who loses himself every time she does. Now don't get it twisted. This isn't about tolerating disrespect or becoming numb. It's about emotional composure, not emotional submission. Let me make this very clear. You are not here to be her emotional sponge. You are not her therapist. You are not her emotional punching bag, but you are the anchor if you choose to be. And that anchor is forged in your reaction or your lack of it. You see, emotional reactivity is weakness dressed as passion. It screams insecurity. It tells her, you control me. My emotions belong to you. But emotional stillness, that speaks volumes without saying a word. It says, I am rooted. I am stable. I am not moved by storms. I stand through them. Now, this doesn't just apply to women. Look around. You'll notice friends will test you the moment you start leveling up. They'll throw backhanded compliments. They'll subtly mock your discipline. They'll doubt your dreams just loud enough to hear themselves over their own insecurity. They're not always evil. They're just unsettled by your unbotheredness because your peace reflects their chaos. And in the workplace, same story. People will provoke you to see if you'll crack under pressure. A boss might challenge your authority. A colleague might spread rumors. They want to see, are you emotionally reactive or emotionally untouchable? Because the man who doesn't react is the man who becomes a mystery. And in a world obsessed with validation, mystery is magnetic. Let me tell you something many men don't want to hear. If you're always explaining yourself, if you feel the need to defend your character, if you're constantly chasing resolution or being liked, you've already lost the frame. Let them misunderstand you. Let them assume. Let them play emotional chess while you meditate in silence. Silence is not weakness. Silence is power. Because silence forces the other person to face themselves. And when it comes to romantic relationships, this is where the shift happens. You stop trying to win her heart and start mastering your own. You stop worrying if she's pulling away and start asking yourself, is this relationship aligned with my standards? Is her behavior adding to my peace or subtracting from it? You stop asking, why is she doing this? And start affirming, it doesn't matter. I choose peace over explanation. This is what it means to be unfuckwithable. Now let's address the fear that holds most men back from this mindset. What if I stay calm and they leave? Then let them. Because if someone only stays when you break for them, if someone only feels close to you when you're emotionally destabilized, if someone only respects you when you betray your values, then that connection is not love, it's control, and you were never safe to begin with. A woman who's truly feminine in her core doesn't need to manipulate you. She doesn't want you to break under her emotions. She wants to feel safe in your structure, your presence, and your silence. You're not here to be her therapist. You're here to be her mountain, not one that crushes her, but one that holds her. And if she can't handle that mountain, she's not your woman. The same goes for friends. The same goes for family. If your peace threatens them, they were never aligned with your destiny, because the more you build emotional stillness, the more you'll attract peace. And the more peace you create, the more chaotic people will feel uncomfortable around you. And that's okay. Not everyone can walk with kings. Drop a comment below. Have you ever passed or failed an emotional test without realizing it at the time? What did it teach you about your own emotional discipline? Chapter 3. Emotional control is a man's greatest weapon in love and life. There's a moment in every man's life when he realizes he doesn't need to win every argument. He doesn't need to defend every attack. He doesn't need to respond to every emotion thrown at him. He simply needs to master his own emotional response. And in doing so, he becomes dangerous in the most disciplined way possible. Why? Because emotional control is a weapon. Not a weapon that wounds others, but a weapon that protects you. And in love, this weapon is everything. Let me speak to the men who've ever found themselves emotionally drained in relationships. You gave her your time. You gave her your heart. You gave her explanations when she already made up her mind. You kept giving and giving, even when her actions were screaming that she didn't value you. Why? Because deep down, most men are conditioned to believe that they must perform to be loved. They must prove they're worthy. They must constantly explain their intentions, fix the misunderstanding, or try to get back the woman who's already emotionally walked out the door. But here's what most men don't realize. Your silence is more powerful than your explanation. Your distance speaks louder than your words. When a woman realizes she can no longer provoke you, when she sees that her coldness no longer bends your mood, when she notices you're no longer trying to make her feel comfortable while she disrespects your standards, that's when your power hits her, and it hits deep. Because women are not moved by words, they're moved by energy. And a man whose energy no longer reacts to her drama, that's the man she remembers. Now listen closely. This doesn't mean you stop caring. This doesn't mean you suppress emotion, become numb or cold-hearted. It means you become selective with what you respond to. You stop investing emotional currency into people who can't afford to match it. Let me give you a clear example. Imagine you're dating a woman. At first, everything feels aligned. The spark is real, but then she starts showing subtle signs of emotional manipulation. One day, she becomes distant. Another day, she criticizes your passions. Later, she pulls away to think, while still keeping you emotionally on the hook. Now the average man gets caught in that storm. He begs for clarity. He overcommits. He turns into a version of himself that even he no longer respects. But not you. Not the man who's done the inner work. You pause. You observe. You recognize the signs not as threats, but as information. You don't react emotionally. You don't chase. You respond with stillness. Maybe you say nothing. Maybe you walk away. Maybe you shift your energy back into your goals, your peace, your body, your craft. And that silence, that restraint, it communicates something far more powerful than 1,000 romantic words. I don't chase peace. I am peace. And if you can't meet me there, you can leave. That's what makes you unforgettable, because most men fold. Most men overexpress, overexplain, and overpursue. But the rare man, he walks away with his soul still intact. Not because he's heartless, but because he's whole. He doesn't fear loss. He embraces it, because he understands that not everyone is meant to walk the entire journey with you. And that's okay. Women respect a man who doesn't cling. They admire a man who leads with purpose and doesn't let attraction override his self-worth. A man who knows, if I have to lose myself to keep you, I've already lost. This is the essence of masculine power. This is the foundation of emotional control. You don't force love. You don't beg for connection. You build yourself into a man who attracts peace and filters out everything else. And here's the twist. When you master this energy, some people will resent you for it. They'll say you're cold. They'll say you're too distant. They'll say you don't care. But that's because your calm exposes their chaos. Your stillness makes their noise louder. Your control reminds them that they're still ruled by emotion. Let them think what they want. You're not here to be understood by everyone. You're here to be respected by the right ones. Because respect lasts longer than attraction. And a man who commands respect through emotional control will always hold more power than the man who's just chasing connection. Drop a comment below. What's one time in your life when walking away gave you more strength than staying would have? Chapter 4. Emotional discipline is the bridge between pain and power. There comes a time in every man's life when he's forced to choose. Will I continue reacting to a world I can't control? Or will I build the inner world no one can break? That's what emotional discipline gives you. It's more than just silence. more than just walking away. It's the ability to feel everything and still choose peace. Let's get something straight. You're not here to become a cold shell of a man. You're not here to repress your emotions. You're here to own them, to face them like a warrior, to use them, not be used by them. This is the wisdom the ancients lived by, the Stoics, the samurai, the silent kings of every generation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." That means the woman who left you, she didn't break you. You broke your own peace trying to control what was never yours to hold. That friend who betrayed you, he didn't destroy your trust. You destroyed it when you expected loyalty from a man who had none for himself. The people who mock you, reject you, forget you, or try to hurt you, they are not your enemies. They are your teachers. Because each time someone tests your emotions, you are being trained for something greater. You're being sharpened, refined, forged. Like steel in fire, you don't become weaker, you become unstoppable. You learn to walk into any room without needing attention. You speak when it's time, you act when it's right. You feel, but you're never ruled by those feelings, and because of that you earn something that most men never will. Presence. Not the fake kind, not the loud, attention-seeking, alpha-posturing kind. I'm talking about true, quiet presence. The kind of presence that makes people lower their voice when they speak to you. The kind that makes a woman feel safe in your silence. The kind that makes weak men feel nervous because they know they can't manipulate you. Because here's the ultimate truth. You are either emotionally reactive or you are spiritually grounded. You can't be both. And when you become grounded, you stop bleeding for people who never planned to heal you. You stop explaining your standards. You stop apologizing for needing peace. You start filtering. You filter out women who mistake calmness for weakness. You filter out men who think loyalty is optional. You filter out everything that tries to seduce you into emotional chaos. And you stay on your mission because you have one. Every man does. Maybe yours is to lead, to build, to break the cycle, to father the next generation differently, to love with strength and protect with clarity. But whatever your mission is, you can't complete it if you're emotionally hijacked by every test, betrayal, or insult that comes your way. You need discipline, emotional discipline, the rarest kind of strength, the kind that gives you the power to love deeply without losing yourself, to walk away when your values are being disrespected, to remain silent not out of fear, but out of complete confidence in who you are. This is your evolution. This is the man you're becoming, not because you want revenge on the people who hurt you, but because you want peace so deep. Nothing can pull you out of it. Not her games, not their betrayal, not life's chaos, nothing. You've become untouchable, not because you built walls, but because you built standards. And now, you don't chase energy, you attract it. You don't chase love, you command it. You don't beg for respect, you embody it. And the man who lives like that, he doesn't just win in relationships, he wins in life. Drop a comment below. What is one boundary you've built recently that made you stronger? Brother? If you made it this far, you're not like most men. Most will scroll past, most will laugh at this message, most will stay trapped in emotional chaos, chasing validation, begging for attention, breaking themselves just to keep people who never planned to stay. But you're choosing growth. You're choosing discipline over drama. You're choosing a path that fewer men walk, but one that leads to power, peace, and purpose. Because you've seen the truth. People will try to hurt you. Some will leave without warning. Some will play with your heart just to see if you'll break. Some will try to provoke a reaction, because your peace unsettles their chaos. But that's not your burden to carry anymore. From now on, your silence is your sword, your boundaries are your shield, your emotional discipline is your armor. You are not here to prove your worth. You are not here to explain your standards. You are not here to win over people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You are here to lead yourself, and in doing so, you'll inspire others to rise. Whether it's in love, in leadership, in life, You no longer chase what depletes you. You attract what aligns with your peace. This is what it means to be part of the Stoic Golden Tribe, a community of men who are done apologizing for their strength, who no longer fold for attention, who no longer break for love that's unworthy of them. So if this message spoke to you, if you've been hurt, betrayed, tested, or overlooked, if you're ready to turn your pain into wisdom, your silence into power, and your discipline into destiny, then you're exactly where you need to be. Like this video, so YouTube knows men like you are still out here. Comment below, share your story, your thoughts, or your breakthrough. Share this with a brother who's still caught in emotional war. And subscribe to @Stoic Golden Tribe, where we speak the truths the world refuses to teach men. Because here we're not just building better relationships, we're building better men. Men who walk with purpose, men who lead with stillness, men who become the kind of kings that can't be shaken, no matter who tries to hurt them.